Hi everybody, I'm Angela with Angela's Midleaf Crisis. Hey, if you haven't been here before, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll enjoy what you see today. For those of you who ever come back for more, wow, thank you so much. This is a new channel and we've only got like maybe half a dozen videos under my belt so far. We've done some alocasia pollination videos and I don't even remember what else. At least 3 of them have been about alocasia pollination and my experimenting with that. And I started making videos mostly to document that so that I could remember what I did and how things looked and how things progressed. And so now I guess I'm just doing videos. So a couple of you have asked for a plant tour because you don't really know me. You know, I just appeared doing alocasia pollination one day. So I'm going to do that today. I'll take you around through different sections of the plant room here and let you see what I got going on. And hopefully it won't be too chaotic. I'm just going to be using my iPhone, so things might be a little jiggly and a little wiggly. I'm sorry for that, but it's the best that I can do. It's what I've got to work with right now. And like I said, if you're new, welcome. If you've returned, thank you. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so. I'm up to 20 followers so far. Thank you for those of you who have followed this far. I really do appreciate it. I know I'm being kind of silly, but I really do appreciate it. All right, let's go see the plants. Let's go see what's going on. All right, let's start the plant tour in this little corner of chaos where everything seems to pile up and get dumped. So I have a ficus here. I love this plant. It's a beautiful one. And back in the corner, there's a tetrasperma and my beautiful Mycolidziana, one of my absolute favorite plants. Had her for a long time. I think there's 3 in there. 2 pups popped up and I left them in there. And you know, the great thing that I found for these, because they do get kind of droopy, is on Amazon I found these little, they're almost like tomato cages and they snap together, and so you can make them different diameters around. And you can also stack them on top of each other. So I have a few plants that get kind of droopy leaves that I use those on. Lifesaver, love them. Then I've got 2 chain of hearts, 1 variegated, 1 regular. I've got my Scindapsus argyraeus, however you pronounce that. I have had this plant for a very long time, 3 or 4 years. She grows like crazy. She's a great little propagator. She's beautiful and she's like super low maintenance. And every now and then she attaches to the wall when I don't get her propped fast enough. So she leaves little marks on the wall. Don't let your Scindapsus attach to the wall. Then I've got my Syngonium albo. Love her to death. This is kind of a corner of favorites. I've got a little blue oil fern, an Alocasia brancifolia. This one's kind of a new one. Bought this one from a friend. Really, really like it. It's different than most alocasias, and it's been pretty easy. And you can see I got a lot of my alocasias in pond. There's a Hilo Beauty. Not really one of my favorites. This one's actually my daughter's plant, so I have to keep her. Then I've got a Philodendron Rio and a heartleaf, a variegated heartleaf, and this one is dragon scale. I always have to think about that. I get dragon scale and silver dragon mixed up. Let's pop back down here. I've got an Alocasia mellow, just a little baby growing in pond. It's got a cute little leaf there. This one's a new one. I just got this one maybe last weekend. It's an Alocasia Calcutta white marble. And yes, I put labels and everything because I can't remember. I do pretty good, but helps me to remember. I built this terrarium, I don't know, 2021 maybe. And it's got a China doll in there. That should not be in there. It's got some Saginella. Had some oak leaf fig, but it's got choked out by the Saginella. And then there's a couple, oh, what are those called? These, you know, what are those called? Bromeliads, some kind of bromeliad. Then I've got a little Bambino, and a Hoya back there. That Hoya is kind of new. I don't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up, put it on screen for you. I don't know. And then this is a nebula, Imperialis nebula, Alocasia. Nebula Imperialis, I guess, is the correct name. And this one decided in pond, for whatever reason, it wanted to just croak on me. And I took it out and I put it in moss in this glass vessel with a little leca reservoir for water, and saved her. She's coming back. That works super well for me for saving alocasias that just decide, I'm not going to cooperate today because I'm just going to be that way. A quilted dream, sinuata alocasia. And this one, it used to be super light, and man, it just recently, it's gotten like super duper dark, which is really pretty, I think. Here's a Maharani back there, shooting out a new leaf. A ninja. And this was our original mama plant, but you'll see there's an offshoot I've got for that. And then a Hoya polynura tucked in the corner there. I'm having a space problem. This is a cutting of a Monstera Syriana, Syriana. I don't know how to pronounce that one. I can never remember it. And a little Hoya Hush. I'm not great with pronunciation. Hushkaliana. That one's kind of new. I think she's super cute. She's super duper light in color. And then I've got a Martha Stewart begonia. I repotted this today, so it's a little bit floppy because it was in pond and it was totally dry. So I put her in a bigger pot and took a piece out because there was a lot in there. And then this is a random bowl of assorted Scindapsuses that are propagating in leca with water. So I've got some the Argyraeus in there. There's some jade satin here, some Trubii here, and this one is a new baby. It's a Nirmala, and it just didn't have very many roots on it, so I wanted it to root up a little more before I put it in soil, because it was in moss but didn't have very many roots, so I moved it. Okay, up here we have a low variegated tetrasperma, Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and an alocasia, starts with an H. I can never remember it. What is it? Heterophilia. I can never remember that one. And then this beauty is a Florida Beauty by Mayoi philodendron. She was a special treat, and she is gorgeous, and I love her to death. And then we have an alocasia. This is my silver dragon, and it was super crammed in a pot, and I separated it recently. It had flowered. I pollinated it. The flowers, I think they took, berries formed, but then they kind of aborted. I think it got too dry and it aborted the flower. So now it's got another flower, but I separated it because there was like 3 plants in one pot, all smashed together. So some of these leaves are deformed because they just didn't have any room to grow. Then I have what is this? This is a little moss pole that I turned horizontally, and I planted some Hoyas in it. There's a Hoya Mathilde, my cheater names are way up top. I'll show you what they are. I can't read them from here, so that's what they are. And then this cute little alocasia. I also bought this one from a friend. Oh, you're buried in there. Come out, come out. This one is a Zebrina, I think. Yes, Zebrina. And then I have a little stingray right here, and a black velvet. I had a little prop box over here, one of those little acrylic shoebox things that you can use as a prop box. And the lid, they were stacked too high and the lid fell and smushed this new emergent leaf. So I'm not sure how that one's gonna look. Then I've got a Philodendron giganteum marble. This is so pretty. Probably needs to get put on a pole pretty soon. And then I've got an Aslanii. So this one I ordered in the winter time and it came with cold damage, came in the mail. Came with cold damage and died back. Got a new leaf, then that died back. And now it seems to be doing okay. We've got 2 leaves, pushing a 3rd, and there's a little pup in there. Can you see it? Doesn't look great, but it was smashed up against the side, but it's attached. And then a pink princess marble. Not looking so hot. Not my favorite. And this super pretty begonia that starts with a B. Sometimes it's called exotica, but it's also got a name that starts with a B. I don't remember it at the moment. All right, then we've got my daughter's gigantic. My daughter buys plants and then she goes, Mom, I don't have room for this in my room. Can you take care of it? So this is a batwing, or a Nicecerus is maybe the official name, something with an N. And it's huge. I don't think this, I don't have room for it if it gets much bigger. At least it's tall and not really super duper wide. It's flowering. And I did cross this, or no, I have pollen from this, but I don't remember if I used it on anything or not. And it's pushing some new leaves, so that's good. And then there's another new alocasia. So the new ones I have trouble remembering the names of because I haven't had them for very long. And that is one that a friend gave me for my birthday. And I love it because it looks like a Frydek, but it's leathery. So that one's cool. And then I've got a cupra back here that is kind of a monster. She's really big. Or at least I think she's big. She was a rescue. She was a stump. And somebody said, here, see if you can bring this back to life. And then my Frydek. I just turned her. I rotated her because she was looking a little lopsided. And so see, I've got one of those little cages on her too because she gets kind of floppy. One of my favorites. Everything's a favorite. And then I got this cool little Triangularis alocasia. She's really cute. This is the baby offset from the Ninja. So those two were growing together and I separated them. I've got lots of corms from them, but look at her leaf. Isn't she pretty? These two were growing together in the same pot, and so I separated them. And when I did that, the mama kind of suffered and didn't really do anything for a long, long time, but she's kind of bounced back finally. Then down here, there's a scalprum, and it flowered, and I pollinated it. There's a video on that. And there, if you can see, I don't know if we've got berries forming or not. There we go. There's a better view. So I'm taking pictures and comparing them to see the progress. So I'll give you an update on that. And she's gonna flower again. Let me back up. There's my giant, wait, backing up. My giant Regal Shield. One of my faves. She's beautiful. And then we have a Jacqueline hiding back here, and she is also pushing a new leaf, finally, if I can find it. Can you see it there? So she's pushing a new leaf. She's been in the one leaf club for a long, long time. I had chopped it completely back months and months and months ago. It pushed a new leaf and then it did nothing for a long time. I also had repotted it, so maybe that upset her. There's a tiny dancer back here in the corner hiding. And then my nobilis. Oh, let's see if I can turn her. She's kind of tangled up in the tiny dancer. There's a nobilis. Also flowering, also pollinated. I pollinated this flower and I pollinated this flower. And this is the one I did in the night the other day. Ooh, let's look at her. It's hard to see through that little bag, but those look like they're turning color. That might be good. Or it's dying off, one of the two. I don't know if should we do the whole? Oh, I missed a few. So I have this little rolling cart thing that has some plants on it that I really don't want to part with, but I also don't have a home for them. So I've got this really pretty Dieffenbachia, I'm not sure which, camouflage maybe, and a green shield, Alocasia, and there's a very low variegated heartleaf philodendron cuttings that I just propped, and a little lone Wendlingeri that's hanging out on my desk waiting for a repot. And then another Dieffenbachia, that one's a Panther Dieffenbachia, and a lemon lime maranta, and a Tenanthe burl marks. So that's the corner of chaos. For some reason, this counter is the dumping grounds where things always end up when I don't have a spot for them. All right, let's move over now to my Scindapsus table. Mostly Scindapsus. There's a few oddball things over here. First of all, we have what is this? A varicosum. Love-hate relationship with that thing. And then I am not sure what kind of a Scindapsus this one is. It was a piece that was given to me with no ID. I've been told it might be a dappled dude, but I don't know what it is, but it's big and it grows fast and I love it. Then I have a Trubii Moonlight. This little piece is something else that's growing in there. So there's a Trubii Moonlight. Then I have a Mayoi. Let me back up a little bit so you can see her in all her glory. No, not Mayoi. Mayari. Got my M's mixed up. And then this one is not loving life. I am going to move this plant, and I actually started to move it, and then I moved it back just for the Scindapsus tour. This is a Trubii Moonlight Albo, and it's not happy at all. I think it's just too much light here. I've got Sancy lights up above it, and I think that it's just too much light. It is not happy. This one is an Exotica Sayak. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's kind of a newbie. She's really, really pretty. She's not happy being squashed in this corner. So if I move this Trubii out, that'll give her a little more room. And then I have another Mayari. I have a feeling that this Mayari also might have some Mariposa cuttings mixed in it. I think it's got a couple different vines, and I don't think they're all the same. That was some cuttings I had gotten off Marketplace, and I think they were mixed. They're all beautiful, but I don't think they're all the same. And then this one is a Jade Satin Albo. That one's super pretty. And then I have here some smaller ones. I have a Peason, and I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly. This is a new one that I got not too long ago, but it's pushing mostly white, as you can see. It's not browning, it's hanging on, but I'm concerned because it's all white, and I don't think there's a growth point to cut it back to behind the white. I think it's the only active growth point on it. And this is what this one is. And you can figure out how to pronounce that because I don't know. And then this one here is, I've been on a bit of a Scindapsus kick this year, if you can't tell. So this one is a Scindapsus Paraboo. It's pretty. I have a type, right? So the Paraboo kind of looks like this one. Kind of looks like that one. And then I have this one, which also kind of looks like that one. This one is labeled Mariposa. Not really sure about that, but I don't know. We'll see. And then this one is another Trubii Moonlight Albo, but it seems to look more like a superstar. So it came with this half moony green leaf on there, which is now yellowing, but all the new growth has been like this. Super pretty. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but it's super pretty. This, can you sense the disappointment in my voice here? This one is a Scindapsus Blue Aurea. It was beautiful when I bought it. It had all of these half moon leaves on it, and then I chopped it to propagate it so that I could make more plants, and they've all been green, and the growth is just itty bitty tiny, and it's getting closer to the light and getting burnt now. So super disappointed with that one. And all the cuttings look exactly identical. Here's another pretty one that kind of looks like these. It is different. It does look different. This one starts with a G, and I don't know how to, Goyles? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that, but oh, I think she's pretty. Love that one. This one is a cutting of a Rubicon, and it has roots. Yeah, there's roots right there. I just watered it, so they're not normally this wet. Has roots, has no growth, has had no growth for a long, long time. There was 2 in here, the other one died. Yeah, disappointed in that one. And then this one's a Silver Lady, and I just think she's super pretty. You know, a little more common, but super pretty. So the only, oh, and then I do have, you saw over here in this corner, the lights are off for the night. That was the Pictus argyraeus. And then over in this corner, let me zoom you back out, is an Exotica. Editing Angela, popping in to tell you about some plants that I forgot about over in the Scindapsus corner. Let's flip you around and I'll show you what I got that I forgot. All right, so I have this Philodendron Brazil. I know, it's not a Scindapsus, but it's in the Scindapsus corner. So there's a Philodendron Brazil. I actually just gave her quite a haircut tonight. She was pretty long. And then I have a Platinum, a Scindapsus Platinum. There is a snake, a Scindapsus snake scale or hask, and then also a black mamba, and I just cut that one back. And then I have a Trubii dark form. Why am I so close? A Trubii dark form, and that one's kind of struggling a little bit. I also forgot to show you a few little babies that are here on my desk, so let's just do those real quick. These are in one of those little greenhouse, decorative greenhouse things. It just sits on my desk. I think it's cute. Somebody gave it to me. I kind of put special plants that I'm keeping an eye on in there. And so there is a little Burl Marks Flame, a super low variegated Regal Shield. In the corner back there is, what does the tag say? Oh, a variegated pink bambino. It's tiny and it's low variegation, but it's kind of cute. And then these, do I remember what this is? This was a, I'm holding you and I'm trying to do this at the same time, black stem albo, but not a lot of albo. So hoping that that one pops some color soon. And then before I picked up that, I think I called it a Kolkata, Cuculata, the marble one. I showed you over on the other table that was bigger. I had picked this one up as just a corm on Facebook Marketplace. And then I saw the bigger one and I got the bigger one that was already growing. So this one's just a little baby corm that's living here, sprouting. Bear with me, I can almost reach. And then I have a better, super high variegated Regal Shield Corm pup that I'm hoping that like the two of them would just like balance each other out, because we have like low variegation with a couple tiny speckles, and then we have too much white. So let's hope that they, and I think they're from the same mother plant, so let's hope that they figure it out and balance each other out with the next couple of leaves. And then remember I said I had that Monstera Sierra whatever. Okay, this was the plant that I took the cutting from. So this is the mama. And then I have this little cup of spilling pond because there was an aerial root on the back side. Let's see if you can see it. There's an aerial root on the back side, and I wanted to maybe take one more cutting off of it, so I directed it into this little cup so that I can have it growing its own roots and not have to disturb the whole root system of the main plant. This, I'll still have this leaf left. This should have a growing point, so it should sprout out again. So I was going to try and prop those. I have, from my unboxing video that I did yesterday, this is a new one. This is the Mycorrhiza variegated Alocasia. And then there's another Scindapsus. This one was labeled as Mayari, was part of that cuttings bundle that I bought off Marketplace. And so it had a super pretty leaf on it. The others have come out green. So I'm just kind of waiting to see if that one's going to get some variegation back. And I have a little baby anthurium, and you'll get an anthurium tour another day. This is a Woohoo Tropicals Red Crystal WU9 by Chocolate Crystal Woo 1. You'll get more anthurium later. They're in my daughter's bedroom, most of them, except for the brand new ones that just came in. We're not going in there. It's a disaster. And then I have a little cutting of a begonia, a little looking glass begonia cutting there. And on the other side of the desk, some succulents. Those are my daughter's plants. I'm not really into succulents. Can't tell you anything about them. I water them once a month. They keep living. They exist on my desk. All right, let's get back to the other part of the tour. This was just a whole section that I forgot about. And the rest of these plants here are my shop plants. So those are for sale plants. Then we have the moss wall, which we could go over. And then that far rack over there is also a plant rack of for sale plants, except for the fern on top. So if you're doing the math and wondering where the 700 are, there's 2 more racks in the kitchen that have little babies on them. So here's my moss pole wall. Let's just do it now. I was gonna do it later, break it up, but let's just do it now. We'll do the watering later. Alexa, turn the moss pole lights on. Okay. Whew, let's get some light. All right, so I have a Micans on a moss pole, my Cebu Blue. There's a Florida Beauty. She's getting kind of green. I'm a little concerned about that. This is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, supposedly. That's what it was labeled as when I bought it, but it looks very different than most. So I don't know if it's just a mutation. I like it. It grows on a moss pole. It's super compact, like super duper compact. It just grows. It loses leaves off the bottom. So by the time I chop and extend it, the bottom's usually kind of bare and doesn't retain the leaves for a really long time, but I really like that it's nice and full and compact. There is a, let's see if I can zoom in here. There is an unhappy, what is this, Burl Marks Fantasy hiding in there. Then I have a Splendid, and she is oh so splendid. She's got a new leaf coming. So when I chopped this one, I normally have it on 3 poles high, and I chopped it back all the way down to one pole and put an extension on it rather than leaving 2 poles and putting an extension on the top, just for space management. And she did. I do think that, I mean, that leaf hasn't expanded yet, but I think it's going to be a little bit smaller than the previous ones, but beautiful nonetheless, and she'll recoup. Then I have a neon heartleaf philodendron hiding in there, and then a marble queen pothos, I think, and a Florida ghost up there. And then I have a begonia maculata. Can you see it? The light's kind of in the way. A begonia maculata. It was up to the ceiling today, but I just chopped it too because it was already touching the ceiling. Then down here I have a Calathea orbifolia, and then there's a dark star alocasia, a Tycon cutting, my elbow, my monstera elbow. This little thing with the orange in the middle, I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's some kind of a spider plant, which is odd. It was a rehabber clearance plant that I picked up. Or actually, a friend picked it up for me. It was super cute, but it's rehabbing. It's a little floppy. My Oxalis triangularis. She's super big. And then I have I think that's a Coralina begonia. And then I got a couple ferns down here because I was going to do a little fern project. So there's some tiger ferns and a dwarf Boston. And then I have my, what is that? El Choco red. Big giant El Choco red. And buried in the back behind that, there is I showed you some cuttings from my really low variegation variegated heartleaf philodendron. And there's the mama that they came from. And then I have one more Tycon hiding over here in the corner that I had taken some cuttings off of, and she's growing back now. So the only thing really left to show you here in the plant room is a couple hanging plants. Some of these are for sale plants, some of them are my personals. This is a lipstick plant, a tricolor Borneo lipstick. Can you see the little flower? It's so cute. The flowers are pretty. The foliage isn't great. I also have a black pagoda lipstick plant somewhere, which has really pretty foliage and ugly flowers. This one is a goldfish plant, super cute when I bloom. This one is a peperomia. It's either a beetle or a parallel, I'm not sure which. A Scindapsus argyraeus, and then a peperomia hope. So those are, oh, and then down here I've got a Polynera inner variegated, and then the outer variegated is over here. Look at all the junk on my futon. Sorry about that. Over here on this rack, some of these are like rehabbers or new babies that I'm just keeping an eye on because they're newly propagated or tiny or just come out of the prop box. So this is kind of like a nursery area. And then I've got my corms because I grow a lot of my alocasias, you know, they put out corms, so I grow those out. So I have those in prop boxes. It's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff over here. I've got some anthuriums I imported, a couple days ago. I did a video on those. And a couple of them are looking a little rough. Not gonna lie. The Warquianum, and these are really high. The Warquianum, I don't know. I don't know about that leaf. The other one had snapped off. This one's not looking hot. Hoping it hangs on long enough to just push some new growth. And then this one doesn't look bad. The yellowing leaf was yellow when I unboxed it, so I expect that to, but it was so pretty I didn't want to cut it off. I knew it would die off. These are like way up over my head. I can hardly reach them. So they don't look too bad. They're gonna just need some time to acclimate. The bottom of the Scindapsus table, those are more props. And then I moved all these. These do not usually live on my desk, but I moved them off the Scindapsus table. They're just cuttings in water. And my messy desk where I do all my planting and propagating. Oh, I think I missed my big calathea, which was not supposed to live here. I just put it in this pot the other day when I was rearranging stuff, and I like it in the pot, but probably it shouldn't live on the stool next to the bucket. I need to find a spot for her because she's gonna want to be elsewhere, I think. But I think she's pretty. So anyway, I think that is, can I flip you around while this is going? No, I don't think so. Oh, there's Netflix. There's Lucy. That's my dog. You can meet Lucy. She only has one eye, so trigger warning. Sorry, that was a little late. She has glaucoma and had to have it removed. So that's been last month before. Anyway, I'll leave you with a shot of the pretty moss pole wall.